Alright, so hello, my name is Mordred Viking and I'd like to welcome you to this stream of world building. It has been some time since we did this last, but I am very eager to get back into this. So, man, I need to remember what we were doing. When was the last time we actually did any of this? The last save was from the 29th of May, so yeah, it's going on almost 3 weeks since I last did any world building. Whoops! I was trying really hard to keep this as a weekly thing, but the good news is there is no D&D game. Well, I mean, that's bad news, but the good news for you guys is there's no D&D game on Sunday. So I will instead be doing some more world building on Sunday instead of the D&D game. So there. So what are we working on at the moment? Well, it is currently the year 740. What were the big events around 740? You know what I need to load up? I need to load up World Anvil. Haven't got that up yet. Log in. Actually, let's do that over on that side. Close. Make sure I'm logged in. I'm logged in. Articles. Races? Is that where the timeline is? Yes. Okay, so we've got the timeline. And if I scroll down, we've got the expanded timeline here. So we're currently in, what did I say, 749? 740. So the last thing to have happened is the UNT created by the Spirit Naga experimentation, which means we have a lot of history to cover. So between 740 and 1054 was the last bookmark, which was the Ogre Uprising. So we've got a wonder being built somewhere. We've got the desert dwarves beginning to expand throughout the desert. We've got a second wonder being built somewhere. You know, the founding of the DD2. What was DD2? I think that was the Dwarven Realm. Yeah, this one. We've already got it. Okay, so apparently I had already made some progress. Well done, past Mordred. Ogres migrate south through the desert. Gnomes emerge. Iron Age begin. So I'm pretty sure we haven't done that yet. And then the northern humans begin the rapid colonization. And that is specifically the northern humans. So the southern humans just kind of continue spreading slowly. This is when the northern humans start just plumping down colonies all over the flipping place. So we've done the deserts, we've done the ogre migration because we wanted to have the ogres down here in the southern realm. And that's basically going to become the Oberlon. Then we've got the boat humans, we've got the elves, virtually diminished to nothing. In fact, I feel like there was another elven conquered city here. EC3 gets taken. So yeah, the elves are down to just EC1 at this point. So I think that might be what I do now. Let's take a look at the hill giants. Giants, giants, giants. Giants. And then I need to make you full coloured. Grab that colour. Choose a more useful brush. It shouldn't even be a brush, it should be a pencil, because then we have the straight lines. I think we were using size 40. Shouldn't be a square, it should be a circle. Yeah. Okay, so are we going to have the giants actually beginning to join up here? I think we probably will. And it's been like 300 years at this point. No, we'll keep them separate. The hill giants kind of spread into these woods. Up to maybe there. And then I'm pretty sure that they will have actually crossed the river at this point. So these two are probably connected. And I would say that this terrain here is super, super lush. So I think we'll probably have a couple of the human settlement holdouts along the coast. But the hill giants would definitely be up to here at the very least. Something like this. So the hill giants during this period are having a bit of a resurgence thanks to the elves being basically wiped out. And we said that they were also going to be down to here, so I think that we're going to have the hill giants down to this too. Okay. Perfect. But I think we should start breaking out a couple of fragmented tribes. So these guys aren't necessarily going to be combined. Then let's go bring you back down to the 70. We'll grab the elves. Bring you back up to 100 so I can grab your colour. Oh, right, the northern elves were supposed to be wiped out. We can do that. So the elves have taken to the mountains over here. And a little bit to the hills. But otherwise they are basically fighting where the woods are the thickest. So this is what the elves are reduced to. This is kind of the minimum extent of the elves. Then if I go back to the giant, elves have been reset, that's fine. We should have the giant colour, we do. So the question here is, would the hill giants raise the city? I think probably. They're nomads, they don't particularly care for settled territories. So yes, I think that EC3 has finally had its day. We are down to just EC1. How the mighty have fallen. Now, do we want the hill giants moving into the actual hills over on this side? I would say probably. Because there's nobody else holding on to this. And I have a feeling this is kind of going to be where they'll end up. Because this feels like pretty hill giant territory. We'll even have you partially into the woods in a few little areas. $300 This is definitely a point where we can start to block out territory taken by others. And I have a feeling the Minotaurs will probably have taken this and put them into conflict with the Giants, which might have some repercussions for the Minotaurs longer term. So actually, let's make this border a little bit more tumultuous and make it clear that there is a bit of fighting going on here. Alright, cool. So where are the Minotaurs? Minotaurs. Drop you up to 100 so I can grab your colour. Macho! Thank you very much for the resubscription. Very much appreciate that. 13-month resub. I just realised my chat window's not working. That might be why chat's been so quiet. Let's disable you, then re-enable you. Say something to me, chat. Let me just load this up. Yeah, so you guys have definitely been talking. Huh. And chat's still not working. Why is that? OBS was playing up a little bit earlier. In that it was basically, nah, not going to start streaming until you've updated all of your drivers. So I've updated all of my drivers. Connecting to chat. Here we go. There we go. Now I've got it. Have I tried turning it off and on again? Thanks for the gift, Mordred, aka Surprise Stream. Had a bit of a bad day, so it's good to have a distraction. Glad to be of service. Do we have tea today? We do. This is some of my green tea Earl Grey. So, one of my fellow community people, Christoph, is a real tea aficionado at Paradox. And Paradox is split into different floors. There are 6 floors in total. Unfortunately, I'm on the 5th floor and Christoph is on the 4th. No, yes. And his floor is decked out with the most ridiculous collection of tea. And I'm stuck with the floor which very frequently runs out of Earl Grey. Because of course I am. Lovely. Anyway, hello everyone. Hello. So, how do we want the Minotaurs spreading? Again, 300 years. So I think that the Minotaurs have probably gone all the way out to here, which is why there's a very lively conflict going on with the Hill Giants, which they've kind of started to treat like the ogres, except for whatever reason, probably because they're just more spread out and they're harder to find. They haven't been nearly as successful. Because the Minotaurs are used to like very organised warfare. And I would say that they're probably also starting to suffer some internal issues as well. That's not to say that they're not still massively expansionist, of course. Let's have them go like up to these open fields at the very least. Probably still skirting around the swamps a little. Especially now that the Ice Age is over. Like, northern expansion is possible again. And we might well want to have the hill giants going north. Although I kind of like the fact that they're just in so much conflict in the south at this point. And let's also have you going up this way. Potentially having you butt heads with the centaurs. Now the minor, you know what? I'm going to have them actually losing some ground against the centaurs in the flank. The centaurs have been a non-factor for ages. Could even have some like mercantile, or at least maritime minotaurs over here. Bit of a different culture beginning to emerge. Dress up as Christoph and go and get the tea. I mean, he's quite happy to share it. It's just, you know, the whole he's on the 4th floor, I'm on the 5th, that takes effort. But whenever I have meetings and stuff down there, it's fantastic. Although he does have some very weird teas. So recently he got a tea which is blue. Just the colour is blue when you brew it. Unless you add lemon, in which case it goes purple. So if you particularly like coloured teas, then great. Personally though, I go for the flavours, not the coloration. Alright, so that's the minotaurs. And we definitely want them pushing south, probably again into the centaurs down here. And we're also going to have the boat humans beginning to nibble away. So I think that the woods... I like having these big forests as borders, because I think they just make natural borders, because there are going to be constant border skirmishes in them. So they haven't made nearly as much progress going southwards, except I would say like here. Which brings them into conflict with the Duragar. No, you know what? There's something scary in these woods. I don't know what it is. No. Yeah, there we go. And we'll also need to do a little bit of work with the interior Minotaur stuff. But they're starting to really bloom out into a massive empire. Man, the collapse of this thing is going to be epic. But this area, how would the conflict here go? Duragar got the fire giants. That's... no, they don't. Yes, these are the fire giant Duragar. These ones aren't. That A stands for something else. Something equally terrifying, and that is going to mean the Minotaurs have not encroached any further south. Because that A is probably one of the most terrifying things in D&D. Let's see if you can guess what. Like, probably, if done correctly, on par with Mind Flayers. And considering the Durgar history of Mind Flayers, it's not Mind Flayers, but it does have a very similar thing, a very similar theme, which I think in this instance is going to be very, very interesting. Particularly considering how long they live. I can't remember if I actually told you what that thing was last time or not. Oh yeah, the ogres have a settlement down here too. I forgot about that. So when is the Minotaur collapse? I'm sure there is one. Here. In about 200 years, full-scale Minotaur collapse. So at this point we should already have a couple of cracks beginning to form. Makes no sense for the dwarves to use Mind Flayers. The enemy of the dwarves are the elves, and the elves are dumb. They have no mind to harvest. They didn't use Mind Flayers. So in D&D lore, the Durgar were enslaved by Mind Flayers, which is why so many of them have such ridiculous resistance to charm effects. And in fact, if you have seen the Icewind Dale series, Macho, then you will know that when they fought the Durgar king, the Durgar god that the party found, Duera, she was so powerful a mind master that she managed to mind control the Mind Flayers, which is a huge deal, considering the Durgar used to be a slave race to the Mind Flayers. Alright, so I'm going to say that that is good enough for the Minotaurs. Now I want to take a look at the bot humans. Because the boat humans are also going to be kind of on the up and up at the moment. Again, 300 years, they've expanded. They've expanded so much that I think they're actually starting to fight back against the Minotaurs, particularly in the woodlands. Probably because this is the point where the elves and the boat humans switch sides. So the boat humans are on the elven side here. And being humans, they just expand very quickly. Especially humans of this particular era. So they've taken all of this. So at some point during this period, there should also be a truce between the elves and the boat humans. Because what I'm thinking is basically the boat humans realize just how many elves have been captured by the Minotaurs, and they do raiding attacks against the Minotaurs specifically to free them, and then the elves basically fight for them. And I need to go back to the Minotaurs. So like I said, again, we're starting to see some of those fractures beginning to form within the minotaurs, and they're starting to see themselves surrounded by several different parties. Now I want the centaurs, because for the first time the centaurs are also starting to grow. They've kind of realised that the minotaurs, or else they're seeing some pressure from further east. And it's basically just these little passes. You know what? Those passes would actually be really good minotaur forts. So the minos are over here. And then down in the south we got some more centaurs. You know what, I think centaurs could be interested in the woodland. Not that much. We'll say the centaurs and the trolls have a bit of a shared border there, so nothing gets through this unless they basically say so. We did say that the centaurs are quite happy to keep a little bit of woodland. I'm not going to have them go too far. Like so. Alright, cool. So centaurs can go down. And now we're starting to really see this area begin to fill in with different nations, which is good. They got their own history of being entirely driven out of their homeland, so I'm sure there's some sympathy. Yeah. Yep, that is true. And I think it's time for the northern humans. Let's start going crazy. So, northern human colonies. They've for sure got quite a big one down here. And I would actually say another one down here causing problems for the hill giants. And there. There. And then I think I'm actually going to have the boat humans pushing north a little. To butt heads with them. And the boat humans have their own history of seafaring. So let's put them in there. I actually kind of like the idea that the giants have just pushed straight through the middle of this, holding onto the high ground. Yeah, that's better. This is a real melting pot. I love it. What's in here? Probably nothing yet. Nope. 300 years. Boat humans. Considering how good the terrain here is, I think that this is all taken, and I'm going to have the giants being a little bit bigger down here. So I'm going to need to work out what's fire giants and what is not. Yeah. Oh, beautiful. Mwah. Gotta love a bit of border gore. And then we have boat humans down here in the south, which I'm fairly sure would have... Whoops. That's not boat humans. That's boat humans. Had they already colonised this 300 years ago? Yep. So the boat humans would 100% have spread way out down here, taking for sure this whole peninsula. Except for this. Oh, before I get too far into this, I definitely need to go and conjure some borders for the fire giants. Before I forget, There we go. Just in case that was ever unclear. The fire giants have their little zone. And we are not done. Boat humans. Boat humans quite like swampy terrain. It is, after all, their homeland. So they've established a small little area there. And also here. Alright, now we got North humans. I need to nick your colour. Right, so first things first, colonies. Well, they've definitely made it down to this. I actually kind of feel like this would be an interesting boat human struggle area. They definitely have taken this bay, it's too nice not to have. They've definitely taken this. And the reason I'm making the border there kind of porous is because that's very close to the southern humans, who probably would take umbrage at the fact that they're there. That's giant colour. I need southern human colour, please. And I'm fairly sure that they would have pushed pretty aggressively up the coastline at this point. They don't have the same maritime incentives, and in fact, the river is so important to them, I don't know just how far they would have moved here. Certainly down into those mountains. I can see them taking all of this. And then rivers. They would definitely have gone all the way down these by this point. but probably not by a lot. But these nice plains they would definitely have colonized. Because after this point they've had their famine, they've started to see their massive growth ramping up. Those woods might still be kind of terrifying, but they've at least taken it. And then with the southern ones... Nah, you know what? They've just taken this whole area. And we should definitely see some sailing. Now, I did say that it was going to be North humans in here. And we want to very much have the South humans coming into contact with some of these southern realms. Keep you off of that. And yes. We'll have a fairly prosperous southern human nation down here. Starting to follow that river. With a couple of city-states starting to form down there too. And in here as well. Okay, now, why was I leaving half of these islands untapped? Well, they've made some new friends. Namely, some of the lizard men. Who, now being away from the Guardian Naga, have effectively been left to themselves to begin rapidly expanding again in this area. Where's the sound gone? Stellaris, why'd you fail me like this? There it is. Do is I'm going to move the Spirit Nalaga and Lizard Men to here. I'm actually just going to have them removed. Well, no, we'll have like various different realms down here. You know what? Sod it. They're in here. So the Spirit Naga are looking a lot healthier now. And of course they are no longer Spirit Naga and Lizard Man. They are now Yuan-Ti. Because they've basically been taking slaves from the southern humans and using that to fuel their economy. Although, interesting problem for them. If they're on the islands, how did they get there? They have no wood. I think that pretty much necessitates them having a presence down here from which they could get some trees at the very least, and also basically necessitates them controlling this coastline. Does make him a bit bigger than I'd kind of intended, but eh. What kind of tea brand is your favourite? Trying Arabic tea and Lipton and Queen's tea is also pretty safe. Twinings. Twinings are my favourite. Turn the music down a bit, it's a bit loud. What sort of crops will they be growing around in this region? So this is basically southern Spain, North Africa. Like, this region here isn't that bad. It's probably a bit like Tunisia. And they could also, and here's an interesting one, be trading with the Leonin. Or, you know, raiding from the Leonin. Which is still a faction I have no idea what I want to do with. Because by this point, I'm sure that the Leonin would have made it out to here. And then have a bit of a dead zone against the Yuan-Ti. Because the problem that I have is the Leonin are basically untouchable in the plains. I really need more rivals down here. Like, we need a more of a this situation down there. There's just no big bad, really. Except for the Yuan-Ti now. But the Yuan-Ti have been on the back foot for so long. Like, we kind of need another race of something in here. Like, this whole area is too empty. Problem is, I don't think the elephants and the Leonin would be fighting. Tunisia is desert and 5 palm trees. No, it's not. Tunisia was one of the most fertile places in Africa. It's where Carthage was. Except for Egypt. Southern Tunisia, sure, that's desert. But coastal Tunisia? No, it's fertile. This is what Tunisia looks like. All of this, super fertile. This bit, sure. This bit, yeah, okay. Oops. Go away. Don't know how to scroll this thing. Okay, it's just an image. Because if memory serves, Tunis is basically where Carthage was. Yeah, you were thinking Libya. Libya is mostly desert, especially again southern Libya. This is Libya here. Not as fertile as this lovely land, of course. See again, lush green. Elephants would have lived in that part of northern Africa. Oh, 100% they would have. Again, how do you think Carthage got them? This is Carthage right here. Tunisia, modern day Tunisia is basically Carthage. Green. It's like Sicily. And yes, you're definitely thinking Libya. Libya, rather more deserty. Same as northern Morocco. It's relatively fertile. I'd say Tunis is more. Tunisia. Let's find a spot right around there somewhere. Well, there you go. How much more lush do you want? Like Sicily. It's dry. It's not infertile. So these are fields. Anyway, we're getting distracted. Do I have my monstrous manual with me? I think I do. Nope. Of course not. Damn. Aarakocra, bullywugs wouldn't really be in that area. Mongrel folk, I think, are something else. Yeah, they're mutated. Darrow are really, really badly corrupted dwarves. They're like the Duragar who've become really, really bad. Genasi. Sahuagin, Furbolgs are more. Shadowfell, not Shadowfell, Feywild. So I'm kind of wondering. It's pretty heavy forest here. No. I was going to say there might be another Feywild, but... because I did say I want to have multiple. It's just that the Feywild that's close to the northern humans is so big because of the magical fallout. But there could definitely be other, like, smaller ones. Kind of like you have the elven groves in Warhammer. Cat people... Tabaxi, you mean? Again, I feel like they're from further south. And again, they wouldn't be rivals with the Leonin. I need something that's definitely like a... on the more evil spectrum. Or on the more questionable spectrum. And also, yeah, these are jungleoids. In fact, you know what? The Tabaxi are probably from, like, South America. 3 Kreen we've already got. Tortles we've already got. Gnolls we've already got. Githyanki and Githzerai. feel like we can use them somewhere else. Goblins. Harangon, again, Feywild. I have thought about putting Zvart somewhere. Getting Swedish served adverts now. Well, I am in Sweden, so this is not that surprising. Sea hobgoblins. Lawful evil. There are a lot of rivers there. Fresh water and salt water. And part of the reason they can look so different is because they are from this area, they are not from Atlantis. My problem with this is this isn't swampy enough. I feel like they're more likely to be from here. Or better yet, from like here. Or here. And that is a pretty big swamp. And the other nice thing about this is they are definitely maritimes. They could have been setting up colonies. And they are more likely to have been trading with Yuan-Ti. Especially because in Faerun, they hate the elves. But in this we could say that they hate the Leonin. Because Leonin used to hunt them. Because the other thing is, we could start them off on one of the islands, but again, the islands aren't really swampy. This is also super swampy. I like that the 3 green are over here, but they're just so far away. I need something in here. There's also troglodytes. Yeah, I feel like troglodytes are more of an underground thing. Although, there's a bucket load of mountains around here. And I could see the troglodytes and the Leonian just constantly raiding each other. Part of the problem with this, though, is this wall of mountains was effectively supposed to be a wall. Who was this going to... Was this the hobgoblin area? Yeah, the orcs and the goblins will arrive, but not for quite a long time. Oh no, that's not true. 340s are about 400 years away from the goblins. No, sorry, 150. Hang on, what year is it? 740, yeah, we're about 300 years away from the goblin arrival. No, hang on. We're in the year of the goblin arrival. That's something I need to add. It's just the goblins don't get the numerical advantage that they need until quite a lot later. The goblins basically start inhabiting this. Maybe starting to come ashore over here, and then most majorly coming up here, taking this area. Dinosaur world, like Lustria, again, feel like that's more of a jungle area. Dinosaur region kind of feels like it would be in here. Maybe I need to have this ringed off by mountains, trapping the water down there. But I like the fact that these are not actually hobgoblins. I like the fact that they're reptilian. Because then whatever the precursor to the lizard man, I don't see any reason why they wouldn't have been up here. Especially in here. The other nice thing about that is it's another rival for the Lamia. If this is going to be the Hobgoblin homeland, it's going to be bloody terrifying having them next door. Because they're going to get on. They're going to get on really well. So you got land hobgoblins and sea hobgoblins in the same region. Yeah, initially it's going to be just straight up conflict, but I think eventually these two would actually start to work together. Alright, let's do it. Let's add the Coalith. Coalinth. 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 Like Kuala Lumpur. Coalinth. And colour some variety of bluey green. Perfect. Oh wait, what colours are you on T? Oh no, it's quite different. Cool. Save. Coalith Marines and Hobgoblin armies. Yeah, exactly. And I actually like the Coalith being here because now we're going to have the Turtles, the Coalith, the Lamia, and then eventually the Orcs at sea. Like the naval conflicts in that area are going to be pretty impressive. Which makes controlling the canal region even more important. The canal through here. Alright, so what I was going to do was open up some of the previous tabs to add them, so they don't just appear suddenly in 740, because there's no real reason for them to appear. So I'm going to see if this works. This is 2400 BC. Why are you opening in a new instance? GIMP started to do this recently and it's really bloody annoying. It's the same program! Oh no, it was actually separate. I confused myself. Because what it's been doing is... Hang on. No. Am I confusing myself? Yes, I am. Because I was seeing it on the OBS overview. Alright, we're good. We're good. Everything's fine. So we've got the Coalith. Coalith are going to be relatively small. They're probably about the same size as the Southern Humans. And they're going to be over here. Sure, that's in black. And then save. Now this is where things get interesting. Because I'm going to open up the next one. Hey, Linus. And then see if I can just drag and drop it. So this is the first time we're kind of backtracking to add something to our timeline. Alright, 1300. I wonder if that was actually on that screen, if it would actually work. Because at the moment it's opening up on my other monitor, which is not very helpful. Nope. My laptop at this point is going, why are you opening these massive files, Mordred? These files are getting pretty freaking beefy. Alright, so if we go to you, coalinth. Needs to go into here. That was the text. Which is useful, we need that too. That's not what I was actually after. Ah. Come on. There you go. Yes! It works. Come on. There you go. Alright, so 2400. Fairly sure that's saved. 1300. Save. And then we need to open up 1200 and then 1000 and then we're back. No, we're not. No, we're not. Because they need to have expanded by 1300. Where are they gone? Save. Actually, do I want you to have grown more by this point? I need to compare you to some of the other factions at this point. I feel like going across here is too far. I want them to spread over to here, then jump across. Yeah, comparing you to like the boat humans is probably roughly where you want to be. So let's have you down to here. Let's have you going slightly into the woods around the coast. And have you sticking to the coast over here. Have you do this. Save. Alright, so that's 1300's coalinth. That looks good. Then I think the next jump, so 1200, they will really, when they discover this region. Already? No. Alright, 1196, here we come. Foxen, thank you very much for gifting us up to Kalinas. Very much appreciate that, thank you. Now you get to use the digital dragon emote too. Come on, there we go. Alright, so you need to bring the covalent. Is that the right one? $1,300 is indeed that one. No, that was wrong. This guy's on that screen. Oops. That's right. No harm done. They should be there. But they're not, because that's the wrong thing. What's going on here? I think I'm being too hasty. I'm not letting it stick to my cursor. There it is. There it is. Covalent. Save. Can't believe we've been going for an hour and a half already. Feels like way longer. Oh, sorry, way shorter. Not longer. I was thinking it's like been like 20 minutes. Nope. Hour and a half. My laptop is not enjoying these 10 gigabyte graphics files at all. Because it's got to save that in memory, and it's got, I think it's 16 gig mem. I think. Check that. Yarp. It's using 21 of the 26 gig commit as well. My laptop is not appreciating this. Alright, so that's the 1196, then we're down to the 1054. So the 1054 is when we really want them to start spreading. Whoa, no, don't do that. Haha. Did it actually load in the... No, it didn't. Come on. Need to run the crank. $740, you should be minimized. 1196 is there. Where's the one that just opened? There it is. Alright, so 1196. Oh shoot, I didn't update the PNGs. Did I increase the size in 1196? No. So before I copy it across, I need to have them grow. Alright. And yeah, you've definitely started to spread up here now that you've found that region along the river. And let's have you finding this river and just going along the coast. You can continue through this little pass to the coast. In fact, let's just take this area now. Merge it together. Similarly down here. And you definitely prefer it dry, wet than dry. Let's have you start a couple more colonies, kind of along here. Up there. And there, because you saw the plumes of the volcano, so you knew that there was something over there to explore. Let's have you use this. You know what? Let's have you going a little bit further along. Yeah, having the coalescence down here is going to be really interesting. I feel like this is a piece of the puzzle that was missing. I also feel like there should be something in here, but honestly this is going to be something of a lost world. I think this is one area where I'm going to have to change the terrain, which is something I've kind of tried to resist so much as I could. Mordred needs more emotes, please use this artist again. Yeah, this artist has been really good. So this was 1054. Wait, did I do that on the wrong one? No, 1054 doesn't have them yet. Right, okay, we're good, we're good. Close, and then we're on 1054. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to move your name up. And then I think now in 1054. Come on. Come on. What's the Atlantis plan? Basically what's happening is there's another continent to the west which is slowly sinking, and effectively what's happening is the smaller, weaker races are being kicked off of it first. So the goblins get kicked off, then the hobgoblins get kicked off, and eventually the orcs themselves have to abandon it. And being just these waves of migrants hitting the coastline over here as their flotillas leave. Alright, I think we would definitely have you... Where are you? just move you, did I? Oh, you're down there. What are you doing down there? You're in the wrong folder. So at this point the coalinth have for sure taken all of this. Because we're now in 1054. 1054 they should be pretty big. Because at this point they should start to clash with the Lamia. And with the Leonin. Leonin in particular. Heavy spilling out into the plains. Because you should have the marshal know-how to actually be able to provide a bit of rivalry. And we got them on this river, which I think is the important thing. Let's have you continue to take over the forests. You're not that interested in the plains. I guess in a couple of places you might be, but the woods are much more interesting to you. And also islands, just because water. Anything coastal. You know what? Let's just take the coast. Quite a large colony is set up there, and then I think a really big one will be set up over here. Because, yay, swamps! And you would 100% be over here now. And in fact, this is probably going to be one of the islands you like the most. You won't have a very big presence just yet. And you have now found this river and colonized the hell out of it. 'Cause that's a big old river. And I should probably do a little bit more with the turtles as well. And I'm actually going to say the Kolinth and the Lamia are probably fighting at this point, pushing the Lamia south. which is how you get the more deserty feel for the Lamia, because they're pushed into this area by the Coalinth. Okay, save. And we probably should be adding some population centres to the Coalinth. Because I've been pretty pedantic about that, it's just this taking so damn long. I want to get back to drawing pretty pictures. Alright, so 1054 goes down to 740. So we're back to vaguely where we want it to be. I just need to make sure that I import Coalinth to you. Bish, bash, bosh. Come on, pick up. I'm only moving you on the layer list, I'm not actually moving you as a picture. And this is interestingly going to be when one of the conflicts arises. Awesome, that's what I wanted. And I also want the name. Where are you? I know you're here somewhere. You are. Okay. So then 1054, save. Then I think basically from 740 I'm going to start putting in their cities. Yeah. This also means that we're going to start having the first rivalry against the South humans. Hail! It's about time. Okay. Then we have the Coalinth of this era butting heads against the Yuan-Ti, which is really good because the Coalinth are reptilian. This is also going to be kind of drawing into the concepts that the Yuan-Ti start to adopt, like camouflage, because of their interactions with the South humans and with the Coalinth. Which is how the Coalinth lose a bunch of ground down there. Sweet! I'm actually going to have a big old conflict going on against the Lamia over here. So the Lamia need to lose some ground. Oops. No, there's a better way of doing this. If I get the Coalinth, draw a pretty picture around them, switch to the Lamia, and just press delete. Boom. Just get rid of these little outlying areas. Beautiful. So now we have a clear conflict between these two brewing. We have the coalinth starting to push more in this kind of direction. Though again, I don't really want them going into the woods too much. Those woods are scary and full of terrors. They do, however, take out all of this. Take more of the coast. They would flip and hate the deserts. They're sticking well away from that. They'll continue down the coast a little bit. I don't think they're particularly interested in building these places up so much as finding new areas to colonize. Especially when there's a lot of water around, as there is here. Oh my gosh, we're going to have coalinth on Whale Island. Ah, we got our first pirate republic. Haha. For the moment, they're going to stick mostly to the woods because they need. They're much more interested in shipbuilding. I think they would probably also have ended up here. Nice little bay. Oh, South humans are going to have a horrible time with the coalinth. The main advantage is they don't have anything on this side yet. Alright, this is making me feel good. So we're going to go over to the lead. No, let's do the Lamia. 100. Copy. 70. And then for reasons they don't go into the jungle really. We definitely need to have something down there, but I mean that could be something as simple as like an ancient... You know, dinosaurs, sure, why not? Here be dinosaurs. The Lami have not had too much of a problem expanding this area. It's mostly in the north that they've been hemmed in. The south is doing fine. Especially because they can use their new dudes to do a bunch of the heavy lifting for them. The Haraka. Yeah, that looking good. And I would like to say that you guys have expanded pretty successfully on this island. Oh, we got totals and Coalinth on the same island up there now. Good stuff. Good stuff. Alright, Leonin time. Leonin! Give me your colour. So Leonin definitely fighting times up here. Sticking to the plains because that's what they know best. Fighting against the Yuan-Ti. Now the Leonin are starting to have some problems. There we go. This might even be an opportunity for the Yuan-Ti to have a bit of a comeback. And we also need to do the gnolls. The gnolls continue to push out. 300 years, they can have gone a long way. That's a lot of land that they've gained. Not that much. Perfect. I would say down here as well. And probably here, but I have a feeling that they've basically come to an agreement with the lizard men that they'll push no further east. Oh, flipping finally stuff is happening in that area. Heck yes! Ah, about time. About flipping time. So, still need to do the lizard men, still need to do the Naga lizard men, salamanders, Duragar, gnolls, 3 Kreen, infernals, dwarves. Still a lot to do. And we're still only 740 BC. Got another 1,000 years to do. Well, how much time do I have? 1440, that's another 700 years. No, 700's down to 0. I have another 1400 years to do. Ugh. There's going to be some big freaking changes going on over there. I'm loving this. This is probably actually my favourite part of the map right now. The fact that we have like 5 different factions all vying for the same territory with just no real pretty borders. That's the problem I have down here. Everything's too tidy. But with the way that the terrain is laid out, there's no reason for it not to be. Especially because the Leonin, I mean, if these were centaurs, there'd be more fighting over the plains. But it's the Leonin, they just reign supreme. Flat territory, it's where they're best. Anyway, I think that is where I'm going to call this one. So thank you everyone for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this. If you have, be sure to hit that follow button to get notifications when I'm live again in the future. If you've really enjoyed this and you would like to support the channel, then please do consider subscribing. It does help the Digital Dragons out. Or you can... No, that is the best way of doing Digital Dragon stuff. There is no D&D game this Sunday, unfortunately. Some of the players were unable to make it. So instead I will be doing more world building during that slot. So 7 till 10, Sunday evening, we're going to be doing some more world building. So continuing basically doing this. Anyway, that is all for me for now. Thanks everyone for watching. I will see you next time. Until then, bye-bye.